Well, good morning. Good morning. We are back. We are back for day 13 of this amazing series, 21-day live challenge of living and thriving as Miss Inspiration. So, I am Miss Inspiration. I am Tanisha Shanae, and I'm hoping that you are having an amazing Wednesday. Good morning, Paula. Happy to see you here. I'm happy that you're here because this is really about you today. You and others that have been on this journey with me. And I just want to check in with you just to see how these journal sessions, let's call them journal sessions. These are journal sessions. How these journal sessions are showing up for you. YouTube, thank you. Facebook, thank you. Yesterday, I don't know what happened with Instagram. I lost y'all at the beginning of the live. So what I did do yesterday, because the software that I use, I do have the ability to have it replay. So that's what I did yesterday. Had the live replay on Instagram, and I think I might do that because I have the ability. I probably would do like a replay on maybe Instagram and Facebook. I'm not sure if it will make sense to replay it live on YouTube, um, but I can play around with that. So, but yeah, so I just wanted to mention that. For those of you that are watching on the replay, good morning, and let me know that you're here in the replay. But yeah, we got at day 13, so we are pretty much towards the middle part of this series of 21 days, and really just wanted to check in with you, like being here. If you are doing the different reflections, how has this series helped you in changing how you show up? And I know that for me, I started this series the day before, no, the day after I had committed to um, speaking. So I'm actually speaking today, this evening. Um, the program that I joined, Tulsa Remote, where I moved to Oklahoma, Tulsa, um, and received a $10,000 grant. And every month we celebrate the people that have completed their year because it's only a year commitment. So I became an ambassador for the program. And basically, what my job would be as an ambassador would be, any opportunities that I can go out, speak to the audience. So whether it's brand new people that are coming into the program or people that are in their last, their year and then kind of on the fence of what's next. And I'm really excited about that tonight because I think I have had a lot of conversations recently with people in the program, and something that someone said to me that just really, I think sometimes we do underestimate the value of just a positive outlook in your experiences. And someone said, I wish that I had the outlook that you had about this whole experience. Not saying that they didn't have a good experience, but I really went into this without focusing on, like, I didn't do the compare game, meaning that I didn't compare here with my hometown. I didn't, I really came and allowed myself to just experience. So I'm excited to have that conversation tonight with those individuals, and just, inspire them to take the next step, even if it is to leave the city. Um, but to Paula say, you're the reason I'm considering and know about. Honestly, Paula, I tell people that I would rather someone pay me to move. Like, this was my first time moving. I went to school, I went to college in New York, like in New York State. So I don't really consider that. My drive from my house to my campus was probably like an hour and a half, if that. And I think it was probably less than an hour and a half if there was no traffic. So moving here was my first time packing up and leaving. And Tulsa Remote is really a special program. What I remember when I first learned about the program, and this is going back to like the dating side. So I am, so let me try to get on the dating apps and change my location to Tulsa just to kind of see what kind of guys were out here, their mindset. That it's no different, right? No, they're a little bit. I feel like some of the guys that I have encountered, the one thing I do notice between the difference between like New York and Oklahoma guys, and this is no shade to New York because New York does have very special situations happening, but people really cannot afford to live on their own. So you would meet a lot of guys who are looking for someone who has their own place so that they can like move in with them. Out here, they're a little bit more self-sufficient. I've met farmers, they have acres of land and they have cows that go to the farmers market and sell the milk. Like they are literally in a different set of different breed, but it's not 100%. But I remember when I had connected with a guy who had just moved to Tulsa, not with Tulsa Remote, but he had moved here for his job. And just speaking to him for the weeks that was leading up to my hosted visit. So Paula, when you apply, and I actually have a playlist with all those videos. If you go to the beginning of the Tulsa Remote playlist, you will see those videos where I talk about the application process. So after you apply, you get accepted, you get a conditional acceptance, and they allow you to come out to Tulsa on their dime. They actually pay, they reimburse you for your flight. If it's more than $500, then that's on you, but they will reimburse you up to $500, and they will give you what's the other thing that? Oh, and they will put you up in a hotel. And so the person was like, "No, it's nothing to do here. It's boring. It's boring." He was like, "All I do is go to work and come home and go to the gym." And I was like, "There's nothing to do there." And what I started to notice about Tulsa, and is that Tulsa. Oh, thank you. I told them that. I was like, I feel like I'm already like an ambassador anyway, because if you watch my videos, like I'm an ambassador. I knew I was gonna be an ambassador before I became an ambassador. And one thing I noticed when I came to Tulsa, good morning, Art Life Dad. I see that you joined on Instagram. We're just doing a quick check-in. So if you have any, I know that you've been watching a few sessions, how has these sessions have been helpful for you, and you can drop those into the chat. How have you been showing up? Has it changed in the last 13 days? Your mindset, things like that. So that's just the conversation. So that you can write that in the chat while we are having this conversation as well. But one thing I did notice about Tulsa was that they don't know how to market. Like their marketing strategy, I think as a whole city is not, they really need some work. And that was, I understood this person when they were saying that. So I'm like, so do you know how to use social media to find activities and events? And he was like, no, because there's nothing to do. And that made me, and that's how I was sharing him just like quick tidbits, like, maybe do a hashtag, things to do, hashtag things to do in Tulsa. And he was like, why would I do that? I said, because there are a lot of things going on in the city. And I know that because Tulsa Remote is telling me that there's things going on in the city. So something is not adding up, right? And I do think that a lot of companies intentionally will funnel activities and announce different activities to Tulsa Remote because they know that we are a little bit more likely to go outside. A lot of people don't. And when I moved here, one of the last conversations that gentleman and I had, I told him, I said, yeah, my experience in Tulsa is going to be 10 times different from yours because one, I like to go out. So I will literally just get up, get in my car, and I would just drive around. I will go online, Instagram. I will look up, like I said, things to do in Tulsa, like hashtag Tulsa, Oklahoma. Like people are starting to learn how to market, So you are able to find things if you actually know how to just do that particular work. And I think that's what a lot of people struggle with. So, that was like one of the tidbits. But I do say definitely, Paula, apply for the program. It's a great city. We are learning more about the projects that they're trying to bring. They're trying to bring more like tech-based companies to Tulsa. So that's actually one of their primaries. It's a great place for entrepreneurs and for creatives. If you are creative, oh, good morning. I think you were here the other week. Good morning, it's like Tresford. Good morning. Absolutely. We'd love to have you here. And I think you haven't been live with us for a few days, but we've been live, so you can always go back and catch the replays for the different episodes that have happened since the last time that you were here with us. But yeah, Paula, I think it doesn't hurt to it doesn't hurt to just put the application in and see what happens. At the minimum, you'll get a free trip to Tulsa. Like, that's what I tell people, and I think that's something. Oh, perfect, perfect. Happy to have you here. Happy to have you here. Um, and Paula, whenever you do decide, hopefully it will be a time that I'll be in town. I do travel quite often, and that is one of I think that's the good part about being an ambassador. I don't have to commit to every event, but I do want to start getting out now that I'm like officially an ambassador. I want to start getting out to different events and really um, be able to just share my experiences, help people make that sound decision. Because I believe the other viewer, Suzanne, that's how Suzanne followed me. She followed me from my social remote videos on YouTube. And she made the decision that not to move here. And I tell people, like, you have to make that decision. It has to make sense. If you are living somewhere now, and I don't know where people might be living, but you might live somewhere where it's like $400, $500 for rent, and it's a decent neighborhood, and you live in a state that doesn't pay state income tax. Yeah, it might not be worth it to move to Oklahoma because we do have state income tax. And while there are apartments that are $500, as my sister reminded me, you're not living in those $500 apartments. Um, but they do actually exist, right? And it is a perfect way to explore Tulsa. You get tours, because the hosted visits are usually Thursday to it's either Wednesday, I think it's Wednesday to Saturday or Thursday to Sunday, but I think it's Wednesday to Saturday. And they do have certain events that like a certain number of events that you have to attend in order for you to get your reimbursement. But I think it's like 4 events. A lot of people love to do the tour. The tour will take you around the Tulsa, different highlights, the gathering place, which was listed as 2024 USA Today's best public park. So gathering place is like one of our big highlights now. And you get to like meet other people who are going through the process. And I know, like, when I came for my hosted visit, there were a lot of people from like Chicago area. And so you get to start seeing some people who are from your area. You have conversations. I did rent a car because when you do the hosted visit, they do put you downtown. So you would normally stay downtown, but I rented a car because I wanted to get around. I knew that I personally did not want to live downtown. I think that's one thing I know about myself. I don't care what city it is. I don't want to live downtown. Downtown typically has a lot of those events that we go to, and sometimes those events you can't find parking or it's a lot of noise. Like there's a apartment building that's really cute. It's on Greenwood. So a lot of people who are, into the Black Wall Street, they want to live on Greenwood, but they don't realize around the corner is a baseball field. And the baseball field has the different sports activities and the games. And in the summertime, they do fireworks. So that might not be for someone who can't take a lot of noise and they have a lot of high anxiety. So sometimes you have to kind of make a decision of whether or not And I just wanted to drive around and see Tulsa and kind of get a better feel. So I think that was definitely a great thing. But I'm excited about tonight. And I think these last 13 days has really prepared me for more conversations like this for tonight. Showing up. I've been going once in a while. I will go live on TikTok. I have to really just sit and just go live on TikTok. I'm noticing that TikTok does better when you go live on your phone versus using like one of these platforms, any type of streaming. That's what I have been told in my research and what I've actually tried for myself, because I didn't use StreamYard for TikTok, but I used another platform and it worked, but it was not as engaging. People were not dropping in as often because that's what TikTok does. Like TikTok was just it will look like you have 85 people in your live or coming into your live, and it's just literally 85 people are probably scrolling through. So wherever they land is where they will land and they will say something to you. So I will say that that has been helpful. And I have been very intentional and so I have joined certain Facebook groups out here in Tulsa about businesses, and I've been introducing myself, right? Introducing myself, because the one thing that we have to remember, no one is going to know who you are, what you do, if you don't introduce yourself and you don't tell people what you do. Right. And I think that's the one thing that I have to be reminded of. Introduce and let people know who you are and what it is that you do. They're not mind readers. They are not going to just know. They're not going to just look and say, oh, what's Miss Inspiration? So it's like, no, I'm going to intentionally, hey, I'm Miss Inspiration. I'm an inspirational speaker. This is what I do. This is what I'm passionate about. I would love to connect and see how we can work together, whether that's be on another podcast, opening up all opportunities that is going to help me to use my gifts to inspire people, to help them get to the next level or just take the next step in their own life. That's all that I want to do. And so between places like here in Tulsa and back in New York, because I have a pretty decent following in New York, and I just have to tap back into that because I do go home. I mean, I don't go home quite often, but I do. When I do go home, I try to make it purposeful. I try to find a way to do a workshop, connect with people, and just do it in person. And I'm actually planning on doing my first connection here in Tulsa. I did a brunch, but that was just more so, hey, I'm going to brunch. Who wants to come with me? And then it just turned into a really great session where we're just talking about our experiences and the things that we love. And that's how I love that part. Especially for Paula, if you're looking to come in, you can do things like that, right? We have over 3,000 members, and we use an application called Slack. Have you ever heard of Slack? We use Slack, and you have like 150 channels in Slack that you can say, like, I want to do a day trip. There's a day trip group. We have a travel group. Workshop, inspiring visibility. Oh, let me write that down. Miss Paula. Okay, I like that one. Let me put my paper at. She said inspiring visibility. Well, I can always go back and watch the video. I like that one. That was a good one. I will definitely work on that one. Touche. Thank you. See, we having a strategy session while we drinking our coffee, tea, or water. Right? And so in Tulsa Remote, you have that ability to, even if you don't have any friends, and you don't have anyone to go with, you could put something out early in the morning. Hey, I feel like going to have pie today. Right? We have bakeries. I want to have pie. Anyone wants to have pie with me? You'll be very surprised how many people like, sure, I want to go. Sure, let's go. Or, or you'll see the people who missed it. And they're like, dang, I wish I would have known. Please let me know the next time. So you wouldn't, if you don't put yourself out there, you really will not know that you have a community of people. And it could turn into a great friendship, or it could just turn into a one-off, and you just learn something new about someone and you just move on with yourself. So that's the part that I do love, and I'm going to open up more opportunities for that, because even listening to the coordinator who interviewed me for the ambassador, we were even thinking about ideas. Last year I wanted to do a workshop for helping people to connect and make new friends, right? One of the hardest things that a lot of adults are struggling with right now, especially if they are moving to new cities, is how to find genuine connections, how to find true friendships. And Tulsa Remote, I feel like would be a great study because although Tulsa Remote does an amazing job at putting together workshops and events, a lot of the events are free or like extremely discounted. There's still some people in the program who feel as though like there's nothing to do and they don't have anyone to do it with. And I'm always surprised by those conversations that I do hear because I'm like, but did you go to anything? Like they have such a wide range from events just for families. Like I learned that recently. There are events that don't even show up on my feed or don't show up as much on my feed because they're only for families, meaning mom, dad with the small children. And people are like, oh wow, like I said, yeah, so like you have like your own play date that's right there for you. Sports, right? So we don't have like major sports teams here, but every fall, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma City Thunders play in Tulsa. They do a game here, and then we have the Tulsa Drillers, which is I believe their baseball team. We also have a indoor football team that's like pretty exciting, and we also have soccer. I'm not a sports person, but if Tulsa says Tulsa Remote puts out tickets for $10, I'm gonna get a ticket. I'm gonna go. Because again, this is about fellowship. It's about meeting and connecting with people. We also get a 3-year co-working space um, membership, right, for free. So a part of your program, although the program commitment is only 1 year, you get 3 years of co-working space. And the beautiful part about the co-working space is that they also put on different events. So if you are an entrepreneur, they're putting on events for entrepreneurs, for small businesses. They help you with your taxes. You have a coach there that comes, I think, like once a month or once a week and does drop-in sessions. You can book a conference room. Like they have printing. They have a whole bunch of stuff there. And you also can tap into those different events and connect with the people that are going, because there's some people that go to the co-working space almost every single day. I have not been to the co-working space this year since I've been back, but I also was going for most of the beginning of the year. But I try to go down there at least like once or twice a month, mainly for printing. I will go to print stuff, but it's just a cool vibe. And if they have any special events that's happening that are of interest to me, I go and I sign up and just go and be a part of it. There's a lot of community here, and I see a lot of spaces that I can, at least for myself, that I can come in, I can fill that void. And so that's what 2025 is going to be for me. When I am in Tulsa, try to be purposeful, try to help provide services and opportunities for people to grow. Right. So I do like that idea, Paula. Thank you. Inspiring visibility. Think this would be great here, especially for those individuals. And I'll probably try to do something where it is also virtual so that anyone that cannot make it and be here in person can also benefit from that. Anything else? Has anything happened for you since you have been following and listening to these amazing lives at 7 a.m. Central Time with me? Has anything else come up for you, been helpful for you? Things of that nature before we jump off, because we're at 24 minutes. Anything else? And Paula, send me your Instagram. I don't know if you apply for the program, but send me an Instagram message uh, at Tanisha Shanae, and this way we can connect and make sure that you um, get everything. Okay, so Paula is working on, she's reworked her lead magnet. That's really good. And I think that's something that I need to go back and revisit. Okay, so cool. DM me since you haven't replied yet. But yeah, your lead mag your lead your lead magnet is definitely something that we all want to like work on. Do you happen to follow I haven't seen Neo talk about this in a while. His name is Neo Davis. He talks a lot about like online marketing, and I know that at one point he was doing a lot of videos about that. But I think on his YouTube channel, you could probably find some of his old stuff. His name is Neo Davis. I started following him many years ago and learned a lot. Like he confirmed a lot for me as far as the things that God was telling me to do in my business. Neo is always someone that I refer to when people are like, I need to learn more. Like I don't know a lot about it. So this is why I gotta tap into the people that know. And Neo Davis is definitely one of those. I know for sure he does a lot with online marketing, and he's very young, but he's been doing it for a long time and very successful at it. So that's a good thing, right? So that's great. So that means that you're in action mode, and you are looking at ways to make yourself more visible, right? And strengthening that initial connection with your viewers, and your possible clients and consumers. So excellent. So proud of you for that. All right, so I'm gonna stop it here. But yeah, I am happy to answer any questions. You can DM me anything related to these topics. I'm gonna just be clear. Because some people be sending me messages about stuff. Uh okay. I gotta check out Liz Wilcox. I never heard of her. Okay, I'm gonna check her out now. See, now we're gonna both do some homework. I'll check out Liz and you check out Neo, and we can like come back together and see how we can compare notes. Yeah, I need to get better at email marketing, so I definitely need to. Let me get a piece of paper. I definitely need to check out Liz. Let's see. So first, let me go back to your idea, and I will give you credit for this. I'm gonna be like, somebody gave me this. Her name is Paula. Sorry, I have so many friends who names are Paula, and they're all from the South, and that's how I end up. I learn how to just say their names now. I be like Paula, Liz Wilcox. Okay, so I'm gonna check Liz out because I definitely need. I'm actually in the process of also finding a virtual assistant. That's the other thing that I've been doing. Finding a virtual assistant. I have a moderator. So when I start doing oh, you grew up in New York City too? What part? What part of New York? I'm a Brooklyn girl. Um, but yeah, I'll check that because I know for a fact I need to get back into doing my emails, but I just need someone to sit down and do that for me. I have a lot to do, and I'm trying to like this alone, because waking up at 7 o'clock in the morning, that's a lot. Um, but also just knowing like having someone I could just give them the ideas, they can go ahead, draft it together, and then I can see the final and then I can make edits. That's how my brain works. So that's I have the moderator when we're doing the master classes, get that person set up, and we'll have someone to just work on like all of those email marketing things of that nature. So that's a good thing. But yeah, so Paul is also, she said 4 out of the 5 boroughs. See, you're a real New York. You spell borough right because everybody be spelling borough all wrong. I'll be like, that's not how you spell borough. Um, okay, BX in the Bronx. I mean BX in the Bronx. BK in the Bronx. Okay, all right. My last in person job was in the Bronx. Yeah. I'm not a huge fan, but I can't wait to go back. You know what? I'm going back to New York. I don't know when I'm going back, but when I go back, I cannot wait to go to City Island. That's the one thing I'm gonna tell you this now, Paula. If you do move to Tulsa, our seafood game is not like we're in the middle of the country, so there's no water near us. They're big catfish people, but you're not gonna get like different types of fish. And like porgies are my favorite fish. Never seen a porgy here. Yes, girl, City Island. Oh, can't wait to go and get them lobster tails. Ooh, I could taste them now. But so that's like the only time that I do go to the Bronx is when I'm going up there, or when my niece was younger, we took her. So of course, the Bronx Zoo and stuff of that nature. But yeah, the Bronx. Even though I went to school in New Rochelle, I went to the college in New Rochelle. That's where I went to school at, and we were like right there, so like cousins to the Bronx. So we would go down to Fordham Road, go shopping because we didn't want to go to Yonkers. So yeah, the Bronx is pretty cool. But yeah, I'm a Brooklyn girl through and through, through and through. So yeah. So Paula, inbox me. And also just to let you know, Inspirational Trailblazers, we're gonna be doing a first quarter wrap up. If I don't know if you remember, in the beginning of the first quarter in January, started to identify our different goals and how to start making those the vision boards a reality. So we're going to do a wrap up of that as well for the first quarter, and this way we can keep ourselves accountable of what goals we're putting out. Are we meeting them? If not, how do we redirect and reassess ourselves? So that's just something to put out there for you, since you're a part of Inspirational Trailblazers. But yeah, so anyone else, if you want to learn anything more about me and what it is that I do, sorry, today's session was just more of a check-in session. No real in-depth, but you can go to my Linktree and you can get my books, learn about my community, the courses that I have, the blogs, and this way you can definitely stay tapped in. But I appreciate everyone who was here, who was watching the replay, who was watching and being with me live. I appreciate you. God loves you, and as always, I love you. Paula, I will speak to you soon, and everyone else, have an amazing day on purpose, with purpose.